Oh, hello, everyone. Good afternoon. It's me, Summer, and I'm super excited to have on Black Cat channel Rebecca. Rebecca is a beautiful soul from USA, and she got an amazing story to tell us. She got a haunted house. I'm so excited to have you here. Before I carry on, I'm just going to share very quick, Rebecca. So tell me something. Where are you from? Well, I'm just going to share very quick this live to make sure that people can watch us. So
Okay,
where
yeah,
are you from?
go right ahead. So
Welcome.
I am from Rebecca. I am
Nice to
from
meet you.
Central Illinois. So I'm about 3 hours south of Chicago. For those of you who aren't very familiar with Illinois, there's a lot of soybeans and cornfields, and it's a farming area. So
I'm from UK, so I've never been to America, to be honest. No.
right. When I say Illinois, a lot of people think Chicago and big city and stuff, and that's not where I'm at. So that's why I wanted to clarify. I'm in the middle of farming area out here in the Midwest.
Oh, right. So did you born there?
Yes, I was born in this area. So
All right. So is that the place where you want to live? Did you ever think about moving somewhere else, or you happy where you are? Because
I'm
sometimes
pretty,
we are a bit like,
I'm pretty
we want
happy
to
where
be.
I'm at. I mean, especially when you're younger, you always think you're going to go somewhere bigger and better and
Yeah,
all that sort of thing.
well,
But
yeah.
yeah, but I'm pretty happy here. A lot of my family's here, and I love being around my family and stuff. So
Wow, that's
it's
love.
good here.
You have really a lovely light around you, a lovely soul. I did say that to you before, but you know what? I never met you before, so thank you so much for coming to the channel. Welcome. And if you want to talk a little bit about yourself, and how did this journey start?
Sure, I can do that. So I own Cambry House and Farm, and so the Cambry House was built in the 1860s by the Cambry family, which is why we call it the Cambry House. And it was lived in by 4 generations of Cambrys. So from 1860s until 1979, the Cambry family owned this farm. So in 1979, the house went up for auction, and that's where I come in. my
All
grandparents
right.
my grandparents bought this house in 1979. My grandmother lived in the area of this house, and it was an apple orchard. So when my grandmother was a little girl, she went to this farm to pick apples, and she loved it out there. And so then when the house went up for auction, she said, told my grandfather, she's like, I want to go see this place, just to see, and she finally talked him into going out there, and he went out there and he absolutely fell in love with it. And so they bought it in 1979 at this auction.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
Yes. So they never planned on actually moving into this place. It's my grandparents loved history and they loved antiques. So they just loved the history of this farm. And so they bought it with the intention of preserving the history out there. So everybody's like, oh, did your grandparents live there? I'm like, no, they didn't. They lived about 15 minutes away from this property. So it was kind of like a vacation place. We went out there for like family gatherings and that sort of stuff. I've had 2 cousins get married out there, and my grandparents did these craft shows out there every fall. Big, huge craft shows in the 80s. And it was a place where we all gathered together. So after they passed away, I bought the farm basically to just keep on what they're doing.
The family.
Yeah, just to preserve the history of the home and the house and stuff. Yeah.
So I'm saying hi. Sometimes I just stop to say hi. So yeah. Hi everyone. By the way, let me just say this very quick. If anyone is in a watch party, come to the Black Cat so I can see your comments. They know how it works, but sometimes I need to stop you just to say these kind of things. So
you're good.
You go on. Yeah, I can feel the love, all the love that you put, because you bought it with your heart.
I did. I bought it with my heart. It was one of those things where I was so worried about what would happen to the house if somebody bought it who didn't understand the history of it. That I just couldn't see it go out of the family. So So yeah, I bought it and then said, oh my goodness, what did I just buy? What am I doing? Try explaining to your friends that you've bought a 3-bedroom house you don't plan on moving into.
But were you living close or?
I live about a 45-minute drive from the house.
All right.
So it's kind of close, but not like super close. So, so yeah, I'm closer. But so yeah, I bought it and then tried to figure out what I was going to do with this. And
you just bought, you didn't have any idea.
No.
With your intuition, it was with your heart, and you just bought like, okay, I'm just going to buy it. We'll see what comes up.
Right. Yeah, it was. It's hard. It was meant to be. That's all I can say is that it was just meant to be. Because
exactly.
the way it worked out and everything, it just kind of. I just
accidentally
bought a house.
I love that. I love when that things happen.
Right.
Hello, Margaret.
so then I had to figure out what I'd buy. I mean, they bought this house when I was 4. So it's been in my life for most of my life. So I've always been around it, but I knew some of the history, but I hadn't really paid attention to a lot of the history. So there was a lot of, okay, what did I just buy? What did I just do? That went on. You
would feel in your heart that it was right. Even though you sometimes you doubt yourself because you weren't sure what you're going to do, but you knew it was right.
Right. Exactly. I knew it was meant to be. I mean, it's just kind of one of those things where the way everything came together, it was meant to be. So, so yeah, then it was like learning the history of the house. So my grandparents had it placed on the National Register of Historic Places in the 80s. And it's an example of Icarian architecture. Nobody knows who the Icarians were, but the Icarians were a group of French immigrants that came to the United States, to the Nauvoo area, to form a communal society. This was their perfect utopian society. And they formed that in the Nauvoo area. And they ran their utopia for 7 years. So the Cambrys came to the Nauvoo area with that utopian group, and then they left and they bought the farm and they raised 10 children in this little house. And had an apple orchard, a huge apple orchard that ran from the 1850s-ish is when the apple orchard was planted. And around the 1940s is when it stopped being an active apple orchard. So it was, and there's just a ton of history to this place. It's really neat.
So when, this is like one of the best parts. I was going to leave this question for a second, but I'm just going to jump into it.
Okay.
So when did you find out it was haunted, or it was something that you decide to, is it something to do with that beginning of the story that you just said?
Yes and no. So when it was in my family for a long time, obviously, but we never really talked about it being haunted or anything like that. There were just doors that wouldn't stay shut. You'd shut them, they'd latch, and then they'd reopen again. I mean, it's an old house. That's what they always told me. It's an old house, and blah blah blah. So after I bought it, I was out there and I spent the night because we were doing some work out there, and I realized a few things when I spent the night. Number one was I'd never actually spent the night here. My grandparents lived just 15 minutes away, so we always spent the night at their house and not out there. So I'd never actually spent the night. There's a little bit of a different feeling out there after dark, which, of course, I didn't realize until after I spent it after dark out there. And so anyway,
you were not in your own.
Yeah.
You had some company.
Right. So then that night, my daughter was with me, and she was 8 at the time, and she was too scared to sleep in any of the bedrooms. She was not going to sleep in any of the bedrooms at all. That just was not going to happen. She was very upset that we were spending the night out there, period. And again, like I said, after it got dark, the energy kind of shifted in there, and she was just like freaking out. So we ended up sleeping on an air mattress in the middle of the living room floor. That was the only room she would consent to sleep in this house, was the living room. And so we're on a twin size air mattress in the living room floor. And my sister had come with me on this trip. Now she slept upstairs in a bedroom, like on a bed, like a real person.
Oh my God.
And
I can see some pictures here. Yeah. I can show some pictures, by the way. I just found out, like, sorry, go on.
that was my barn.
You can tell us a bit about it in a second. I'm just going to carry on posting some pictures. Yeah, carry on. I'm excited. So you were sleeping with your daughter in the living room, and your
Yes.
sister was sleeping on her own.
On her own in a bedroom. She had a 6-month-old puppy with her on this trip. So the puppy had to get up and go outside in the middle of the night. And so when they did that, they came downstairs and they walked right beside my head, because I'm in the middle of the living room floor. So they walked right beside me. They go out the front door and they come back in. And so every time they do this, of course, they wake me up, because I'm not sleeping very well to begin with. And they have to rock right, like literally inches from my head when they do this. So I'm woke up 3 times in the middle of the night by them going outside. And so the next morning I am like, pretty bleary, drinking my coffee. My sister comes downstairs and she's all like, chipper and happy. And she slept in a bed. And I told her, your puppy did really good. He only woke up 3 times. That's not too bad. And she's like, no, I slept great. Puppy only got up twice. It was fine. And I'm like, no, you walked by me 3 times. I know you woke me up 3 times walking beside me. And she's like, no, it was only twice. And so we argued about it a little bit and finally came to the conclusion that she really had only got up twice. And I really had somebody walk by me 3 times. So then the question is, who's that other time?
Yeah, I was doing the 3rd time. Oh my God, that's creepy. So that was like, so tell me something before we carry on. So do you have like any psychic ability? Any, like, can you feel spirits or ghosts, as you want to call it? Or was it like your first experience with the spiritual world that you couldn't understand what's happened?
So no, it wasn't my first experience. I usually can sense like energy of ghosts. I don't see ghosts. I'm not a medium. That's not really my gig. But I do feel energy. And I do kind of sense like the energy of ghosts. So around 2003 is when I started doing ghost investigations. So I've done ghost investigating for a long time. I just had never.
Before or after you bought the house? That
was before I bought the house. I bought the house. I had never really considered this place haunted because, again, whenever I was out here with a lot of people, like all my family, which I have a huge family. So there was like, every time I was out here, there's probably like 40 or 50 people out here. So I was never like out here alone type of thing.
Oh, yes. You can even feel the difference.
Right, exactly. When you have that many people out there, you're not really sensing ghosts or anything like that. And a lot of times I block pretty hard, and two, when you think about, something that you've grown up with your whole life, you get like a certain impression in your mind of it, and it's hard to think outside that box.
Normal. It becomes you. Yes, of course, Holly, you can ask any question. Actually, everyone, please share this live video. Don't forget, if you are in a watch party, come straight to Black Cat TV so we can see your questions. And also, yes, make some questions to Rebecca. I'm pretty sure she's excited to talk about it. Yeah.
I'm asking to answer questions about the farm, so it's answer questions.
So sorry. So carry on. What were you saying?
Oh, so yeah, I'd never really considered the farm as being haunted, but then again, I'd never gone in specifically thinking about looking for ghosts there until I started having like the experiences. So after that first night there, where I actually spent the night, I had a friend who was starting to get into paranormal investigating, who was putting together a team right around this time. And so I messaged him and said, hey, I bought this house. Do you want to come out and investigate? And of course, he's like, sure, this sounds great. And so he came out and investigated. And it was like one of the most active investigations I've ever been on. It was, yeah, it was, it was really wild. And it was,
and it was the last time you slept there.
Well, let's just say I still spend the night there, but we always end up sleeping on the living room floor because my daughter is still terrified of sleeping in any of the bedrooms.
Oh my God. And did you have some activity?
Yeah. So when my friend Chad came to do the investigation, it was kind of a rainy, drizzly April day. And here in Illinois, those days are like cold. You know, it was a cold day, and I'm walking him through the house, giving him the tour, and I had my winter coat on, and I'm shivering, and I'm thinking my furnace in my house is broken, and that's all I could think of. I'm giving this tour, I'm shivering, I'm thinking the furnace is broken, and so part of the investigation, they like to check for the ambient temperature of the house. And my furnace was set at 60. The ambient temperature was 58. So my furnace is working. But then at that point, then they're looking at me. I've got my winter coat on and I'm shivering in here. Okay. So then they checked the temperature around me. So directly behind me from about my waist down, the temperature was reading 22 degrees on the temperature gauge. Wow. So I had a cold spot that solid. It was a solid cold spot that didn't go away. And it registered, like I said, 22, dip into the teens and the negatives even. And it was from about my waist down. Yeah. No wonder I was shivering, right? I stayed for a good portion, probably about an hour or two of that investigation. And that cold spot stayed pretty close to me through the whole time I was there. It would be either behind me or beside me and just kind of move around me through the whole time I was there. I wanted Chad to investigate by himself. Like I said, I had so many preconceived notions about the house that I wanted an outside person to come and investigate. And just to see what was going on. They got so many intelligent responses, and then that cold spot was just undeniable. It was just one of the most impressive cold spots I've ever seen or heard of.
Did you find out was it or?
Yes. So that's one of the neat things about my house. So, like I said, 4 generations of Cambrys lived in the house. So I have a complete genealogy of all the Cambrys. That is written by Adolph Cambry's son. So the guy who built the house, his son wrote the family history out. So I can tell you everybody who's ever lived in this house for 4 generations. So from the 1860s to the 1970s, I can tell you everybody. So that cold spot, and actually a lot of the activity I get in the house is Eglantine Cambry. She died at the age of 9 on the property, and she's buried somewhere on my property in an unmarked grave.
Because I was going to say the child, yeah, because I can feel her energy around you.
Yeah. I think she stays around me a lot because I've grown up out there. She knows me, you know.
Yeah. What's her name?
Her name's Eglantine. It's spelled.
Okay, because I also heard the name Elizabeth for some reason.
Okay.
I don't know who is that Elizabeth, but I just heard it. Maybe someone related with you.
My great aunt is named Elizabeth.
All right. I was just
like thinking through my Cambry family history here, and Elizabeth isn't really popping out right off. Adolph and Hortense are the ones who built the house. And let's see, the girls were.
Sorry to interrupt. Did you ever took her any sweets?
Yes, actually, we've taken her like little caramels every once in a while.
because she's showing me the package, like the ones that used, and she was very happy with that.
Oh,
So
good.
can I just say that, take them again, because
Okay.
it makes her happy.
Good. Yes, that's so good to know. Yeah, we've done that a couple of times where we've taken little caramels and
Yeah, she was showing me. Yeah, it's one of the. I feel that when you go there, she's excited for you to take them. So I would suggest, just take them again next time you go or whenever you got the chance. Because she was showing me like a little package. They were like also white, blue, and pink. I'm not sure if you ever took that kind. I don't even know what is it. This is just a majestic that came to me.
okay.
Anyway,
Yeah, usually it's like a
it,
caramel and it's in a white wrapper and it twists. The ends twist.
yeah, all right. She was showing something similar. So anyway, I was just sorry. I was just giving this, this message because she was happy and she was excited. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's been our experience with Eglantine. She is so happy that we are there and so happy to interact with us. She is just like
She's always jumping around. Yes, I can
Yes.
feel her energy. Really lovely. Yes. Now her energy before was a bit cold. I feel that she got an auntie with her. It's an energy of an auntie. I'm not sure if you know who is she,
Yes.
that auntie. But her energy is coming more warm. I do believe that the energy cold that sometimes you feel is more from the auntie, because I feel that she's always with her auntie. I'm not sure if you know who is that auntie, because I feel it's an auntie energy.
It's if it's the one I'm thinking of, it would be Nettie. So that would be actually her sister. But after Adolf and Hortense passed away, this Nettie and Fritz, two of their children, ran the farm up until around this.
Yeah, it's a mature energy that used to take care of her. That's what I feel. I feel that she always with her hands, with both, with the, always giving the hands. Like she's always taking care of her sister or auntie. I did felt the auntie energy because I felt it was someone that was taking care of her. So very interesting, like the energy. Sorry, I was just feeling it.
Right. So, like I said, it's not. It would be a sister, but I could see where it would come across as like an auntie, because it's Anita, which they called Nettie. She never had any children of her own. So Anita and Fritz both, they never had children of their own. So their brothers and their sisters, that their family was very important to them, but they never had children of their own. So she would be,
I understand. That maybe that's why I feel that it's a energy. It's not a mother energy. It's someone that raised her. That's why I said an auntie. It's an energy of someone that raised her because she did. But it's not a mother. It's like she didn't felt that she was a mother. She felt like a strong figure in her life that had to raise her. You know what I mean? So this is the energy I was getting from, like this kind of energy. It's really lovely. Like she's always protective, very protective.
Yes. Yeah. I like that. I like that idea. That's and like I said, that kind of that resonates with me. Just the whole that energy.
I feel that she's very serious. Like the oldest one, the one that I said that got an anti energy. She's a very serious. While the little one, she's very, happy, cheerful. Always, I feel that she's always jumping around. And the other one, she's always like, okay, you need to stand still. She's very like to bring her down.
Right. When we're doing investigations, a lot of times Eglantine is just so active, and she's so excited that we're there investigating and interacting with her. That we get so much interaction from Eglantine, but once in a blue moon, we'll pick up on the older female energy, and we've got some pictures a few times with like a female face, an older one, and so that one, like I said, I really think that is Nettie. She was there for so long. And her and the brother Fritz are very, if we get interaction, it's usually Fritz or Nettie from the older Cambrys. But like I said, Eglantine, she's so excited that we're interacting, and she loves interaction so much. When we're doing investigations, we get Eglantine a lot.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I can feel an energy. She's always happy to share and to be, like you were saying, active. She's always happy to put her own touch in things. This is what I feel here.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit more about this house. What would you like to share with us? Like, tell me like the most. So, did you start to do some tours?
Yes.
Because
So once we figured out it was haunted, and I'm sitting here trying to figure out what I'm doing with this house, I randomly buy it. I've had a couple cousins get married out there, so we've opened it up for weddings. So it's available to have weddings out there. As you can tell from pictures, it's just a beautiful place. It's a beautiful property. So the weddings out there are wonderful. And
I couldn't find many pictures on your website.
Okay.
You know, I can't find to find some pictures inside.
Yeah, I always take pictures from outside. I need to work on more inside pictures.
Well, you know what? Next time, before you come, just send me some pictures from the inside, and then I can just post them here. Yes. So sorry. Carry on. Just because I just want to show pictures. Yeah.
So then we opened it up, and we do a craft show like my grandmother did, and then ghost tours. Since we were having some paranormal activity, we thought, well, let's try and have ghost tours, and those have been hugely popular out there. And so I have it available to be rented for paranormal investigations as well. So ghost tours, I do a guided ghost tour. Those have been so much fun. We just, like when we talk about Eglantine, she loves the ghost tours. She absolutely loves the ghost tours.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Have you seen her? I feel that she got to the picture that she's giving me. I'm not sure if it's her, but I believe it's her that got a fringe. And she got like two little pink balls, one in each side. I'm not sure if you ever seen her pictures, but this is what she comes across.
I have personally not seen her. I've had people see her though. So like I said, she's very playful. And we had one time where it was after ghost tours. So we'd been doing ghost tours, and it was after, and we're kind of like winding down, getting ready for bed. And my investigative team saw her standing there, and she was giggling.
With the little bows in her head.
Yes, with the little bows in her hair, and just she
was telling me that sometimes she's so happy. Honestly, she's saying that sometimes she's like to change the color.
Oh, that's great.
Go on. Sorry. I feel that she got so much to tell you. She got so much to tell you that she just wants to jump around and tell me things to tell you, so she knows.
That's so
if
wonderful.
She didn't get more information. She's talking about melon. Did you ever eat some melon there? Or do you like melon? There is like a connection with melon she's talking about. Or she's like...
We've had melons out there before. Like usually when we're out there, we end up having watermelons, just because it's quick and easy.
All right. Okay. Maybe that's why she's talking about, because maybe she likes it. I believe that she likes it, and it's like she can feel it through you. You understand what I'm trying to say? Yeah.
Yeah. She may just really like watermelons, because they had this huge farm out there, where they grew like all kinds of tomatoes and produce and stuff. So it may have been something that they grew out there.
But it was watermelons that she was talking specifically. Yes. Anyway, just to leave. I'm sorry, I carry on interrupting you because I feel like
that's perfectly all right. I'm kind of excited. It's nice to get interaction with her, get answers. I mean, she interacts all the time. It's great. We love it.
Lovely energy. So, and yes, you were talking about the tours.
So yeah, tours, ghost tours. Ghost tours are great. I usually do like a 2-hour tour where I explain how to do a paranormal investigation. I give some history of the home, and then we let them use our investigative tools, and they investigate the house. So it's great for people who just want to try out doing a paranormal investigation. They've never done it before. They want to try it out. They come do my tour.
Okay. So what is the reaction of people that never did it before? Usually, do they get put out, or
they usually, they come in and they're kind of like, I don't know. Usually there's like, they always come in a pair, because they never want to do it by themselves. So it's always one person who's like super into it and super, super excited, and they're dragging somebody else along who's just kind of like, I don't think this is, and then they usually leave and they're just like all excited, and it almost always have an experience. I'm not going to say every single time, but for the most part, every single person has an experience. So
oh, that's so cute. Sorry, yeah. She's showing me she used like white sock with white shoes.
Okay.
So you know what? When I say something like this, just tell me if you relate or not, because I want to make sure that it's the same things that people that go to your place can see. I'm not sure if anyone ever said about that.
No, nobody's ever said that, but then that doesn't necessarily mean that's not true.
Yeah, let me know, please, because this is what she's showing me, that she used to like to wear like the white socks till the knees and the white shoes. It's white shoes that she likes to wear. Anyway.
We've always seen her, usually if somebody sees her, she's wearing a white dress and the little hair bows and stuff. So she's I always say, she's so interactive, and it's.
All right. Maybe she's wearing like some white socks with white shoes to match with the white dress. And she's just doing that.
One of our last tours, it was somebody who was on their very first investigation, and she had the K2 meter in her hand. I don't know if you're familiar with the K2. It's like, it detects. I heard about it. Electrical energy. We use it on ghost tours a lot. So she's got the K2 in her hand, and if the K2 is going off, so she turns to the person beside her to say, "Oh my gosh, the K2," and there was nobody standing beside her. She had, seen somebody out of the corner of her eye. She walked up and stood next to someone, and then when she turned to them, there was no one there, and she was just so excited to have that experience of, a full body apparition.
That's what you want, Do you sometimes, I don't know how does it work, but do you, as a house owner, do you ask them, okay, so I'm going to have a ghost tour, make sure that everyone comes.
When I started doing ghost tours, that was the big worry, is like, okay, I'm inviting people into this house. I hope it's haunted. I'm hoping they're going to have an interaction. It was very nerve wracking, because I don't know if they're really going to have an interaction or not.
Yeah.
Especially the very first one we did. It was just, I was so nervous, and I'm like walking through the house going, okay, guys, this is what's going to happen. Like talking up in the air in the house, just going, okay, please interact. It's okay.
Did you have anything like, spooky that, you can remember about your first experience? Or when was like your first experience that you can recall? You know what I mean? Like the one that you, okay. This is not normal.
Well, after we looked back, we had the interactions. We realized the house was haunted after I bought it. So that was 2017 that I bought it. So we kind of went and looked back at things that might have happened in the past that could be haunted. So there's a door in the kitchen that leads down to the basement. And when my grandparents had the craft shows, that's where like the checkout stand was for the craft show. So everybody had to come into this kitchen and stand basically right by this basement door. My job as a little girl was to make sure that basement door stayed shut, because it would open all the time. And of course it was like the basement stairs right there. You don't want somebody falling down the stairs. And
listen to many movies.
Right, exactly. So there's a trick to shutting and latching the door. And I know this trick because I had to shut this door all the time and make sure it stayed shut. But
oh my God.
The door would shut, it would latch, it would be shut. You could pull on it and make sure it was shut. And then it would just randomly open.
That will be me. Okay, that's it. I'm going out.
Well, I mean, we didn't think anything of it back then. Back then, I never really thought about it. But like when we're doing the ghost investigations now, the same sort of thing happens. The attic door upstairs is the same way. And there was one investigation where we're doing it, and I'm like telling them, okay, yeah, this door we have problems with staying shut. And so then the person I was with who was investigating opened up the door and kind of like tried to see what was going on. And she pulls the door shut, and I watched her shut it. We all watched her shut it. And then we all watched the door handle turn and the door open.
Oh, wow.
That was yeah, that was really incredible. And it was like, it verified so much of what I'd had happen as a child that, you know, we just attribute it to being
Yeah.
an old house. You know, it's an old house, these doors.
Yes, of course. Oh, wow. So you're not even scared because, you know, it became you. The house became you.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, it did. It really, you know, I loved the house before, and that I love it even more now.
Yeah, I feel the energy. It was meant to be. And the house, it's you. You know, you are the soul of the house. They were expecting you for so many years.
Right. I think so too. It just,
Yes, that's what I'm
there's something about this property that is just very peaceful and relaxing. And every time I bring somebody out here, no matter what they're there for, like if they're there for a ghost tour or a wedding or just to come see it, at some point, they all take this really deep breath and then they exhale and they go, oh my goodness, it's so peaceful out here. And just there's a sense of peace about this property that I can describe all day, but until you go out there, you won't know it. But it's just, there's something there that's just so peaceful.
I can feel it. It's got amazing energy. It's got the love of a family for you know, for centuries, and you can still feel the love. You know, just by looking at the picture, I can feel the love straight away.
Yes. Yeah, it is. It is a well-loved house, and it's a family home. You know, I mean, so many people when they talk about places being haunted, they're like, "Oh, it's creepy and scary," and that's not what I have. It's a loving, happy home. You know, it just has to be haunted.
Tell us something so we can, you know, because I know you don't. We already been here for 35 minutes. I'm not in a rush, but you know, you got your own things, and I would like you to come back to another day and show us some more pictures inside whenever you can, without any rush. But I think everyone would be really excited to see that.
Oh yeah, sure.
If you can, you know, if you got the chance, let me just post a picture again that I posted before, and if you want to tell us a little bit about it. So this is the old barn.
Yes, so this is the old barn. When you come down the lane into my property, this is one of the first things you'll see is this old barn. It was built around 1900. And of course, they used it for animals and livestock and stuff. I've just recently started remodeling it so that I can use the inside of this little barn for like wedding receptions and things. So.
Yes, I was trying to see if I could take a picture because I did add the picture here, but sorry. Next time I will put some more because let me see. Actually, I think I got some here. If you just bear with me, everyone. If you just want to tell us a little bit more about it while I'm just going.
Sure, I can do that. So when my grandmother talked about this place, she described it almost like a Brigadoon type situation. The signs would go up for the apple orchard in the fall, and she would go out there and see it, and then the signs would go down, and it almost completely disappears. So this house, nobody knows where it's at. It sits back off the main road, and so far that the trees surround it in the summer, you can't even see the home back there down this lane. And so when you drive by, you maybe see the barn and the pump house, but you don't really see the house. It's really secluded and private, and of course, as you can tell, it's a beautiful place, but it's just really interesting to see.
Amazing.
Yeah, my grandmother always described it as being like enchanted too. She's just amazing. There's an amazing feeling when you're out here. When she bought the property, this is one of my favorite stories. So she bought the property and her brother was with her and my grandfather as well. And they stood in the backyard, and then an eagle flew overhead. And so my uncle said that was a sign of good luck, you know, just have that eagle fly overhead. And then grandma later on, she's like, she wondered if it wasn't a buzzard. Because like she dropped that's the cabin. I'll describe that in a minute. Let me finish my story.
Sorry, I can see it from me. I don't know where did I send this.
So anyway, it's there. A buzzard because she dropped a whole gallon of paint down the steps, the basement steps, that burst on the floor and like almost stepped on a snake. And so that's our joke is, you know, what bird's flying overhead? If we see a bird fly overhead, is it an eagle? Is it a lucky day, or is it a buzzard? Is it an unlucky day?
Oh wow, maybe that was the sign, maybe that was something that make her drop everything, maybe she wasn't on her own. And
Right.
now you understand that.
Yes, exactly.
Um,
So the picture you showed with the
oh,
cabin, that cabin sits on the same piece of property. So I have 30 acres here. So this cabin actually sits right on the river. And so if it was like a city block, the house sits on one side and the little cabin sits on the other side. And so this piece of property is at the end of a mineral springs. So I have a natural mineral spring that runs on this property, and it runs down to by the cabin there. So a lot of
wow.
times we spend a lot of time at the cabin on the river.
So is this one haunted?
That one, I don't think so. Although like one of the ghost stories that I have from the property is from that. So the stagecoach route ran through my property there. My lane was part of the stagecoach route, and so the stagecoach ran right by the cabin there. And so the stagecoach driver loved this piece of property so much that after he retired from stagecoach driving, he bought it, and that's where he retired to. So one of the ghost stories they tell is after he died, they could still see him sitting on his porch every night. So I don't know. It could be haunted, but I haven't had an experience out there. But I don't know.
And what do you think about, because before you even bought the house, you already conducting ghosting investigations. But when you bought this house, it never crossed your mind. It wasn't with this intention. So that's the most interesting thing, like you got probably is like one of the most haunted places around you.
Yeah, exactly. That we have so much interaction there at the house. It's always one of the most active investigations I've ever gone on. And it's so weird that I never had considered this as being haunted until I spent the night. I don't know if and like I said, I think it's just because it was so far out of the box that I'd always had this house in my life. It just was not something that occurred to me.
All right, then. So let me just show once again the picture of the house. I don't have, like I said, I'm not. I don't have many pictures here.
Pictures. I will say that second story door, there was never a balcony here. That door is used for ventilation. When you open that door in the window opposite, that house will stay so cool even in the middle of summer. And it's used for moving furniture in and out of the house too. So
I feel that I'm seeing. Was it someone on the window on the right side?
Yay! Yes. I have had several people on ghost tours take pictures of that right window and have a man's face show up in the window. A lot.
Yeah, I can even see the body. It's amazing. All right,
that's amazing. So we think that's Fritz. That was his bedroom when he lived there. So yeah, that's Fritz. That's great that you picked that up.
That would make sense then. So is there anything else you'd like to share with us? So how can people find you then? Before we go, how can people find you? Or is there we got just a question here. I'm not sure if Shibon, would you like to answer to Shibon? Shibon, darling, I
think the spirits stay around the house because they love this house. They love this house and this property so much. I mean, I love it. That's why they stay, just because they love it so much. They have so many happy memories of being there that's why they stay.
Oh, that's cute. Like I was saying, it could be quiet, it could be busy, but we didn't have many people asking questions. But still, we had some. Maybe next time you come back, it will be better. But at least, people can get to know you. You can share this with, if you want, you can go and share this live. And do you have any questions for me, or do you would like to share anything else with everyone? So tell me something. because I got viewers all over the world. Some can't go physically there. How can they reach you, or is there anything that you would like to promote yourself through online, or feel
sure.
free.
You can find me basically if you type in Cambry, I should pop up, and Cambry is spelled Cambre. So my website is cambryhouse.com. I'm Cambry.house on Instagram, and of course Cambry House on Facebook. So
just give me a second because I will put it here. And then I will put it in the screen very quick.
super.
And people can have a look. You know what? Did you ever did live ghost tours?
Yeah, we've done a few of those. I'm just starting to experiment with doing some of the Facebook Live investigations. We've had really, really good luck with that, though. I had Kelly McCarville, which I can send you the link for that. She did a live investigation there where it was Facebook Live, and the people asking questions in chat, they were answering the questions over the spirit box. They were of the names of people who were in the chat. It was like one of the most incredible investigations I've seen on Facebook Live, where somebody would pop in the chat room. So yeah, we definitely should do that more often.
Yes, they're actually saying that you should do it because they actually enjoy it, because it's like nowadays it's how we get out to reach people from so anywhere, and they want people to know they're there.
Yes, they do, and that's what I always tell people about doing the ghost tours and stuff. That my ghosts really love doing the ghost tours. They love the interaction. Eglantine especially, she loves doing that interaction. So
yes, and I felt I'm feeling like a male energy. He's quite tall, and I feel that he wears like a dark brown hat. It's not actually a hat. I don't know how do you say it in English. But it's like those little hats with a little bit of that comes out. If you understand what I mean, like the old ones.
Yeah.
I don't know if when they saw him was with the same hat, but this is what is coming across with a white shirt and this brown waistcoat, a little bit lighter than the hat.
Okay. Yeah, that would probably be Fritz. Fritz, like I said, he doesn't interact as much. Of course, Eglantine, she's so active. So she kind of like overshadows everybody else out there. But Fritz, we do have some interaction with Fritz. That's the older male. And he, like I said, he ran the farm for the longest, besides his father, of course.
It's so funny, honestly. Sorry to interrupt. You know what? I don't even like to say this is the first time I say this in my life, but I do wear extensions as obvious. And she's asking, what is that you got in your head? She's so.
I know Eglantine.
I'm going to pull it like, why do you have that in your head? Because that way my hair is not too small, but like women, we like to wear things that we never have. And she's like, why are you wearing that in your head? It's quite funny. She's so funny, honestly. Sorry.
She was so funny. Like, one of her favorite things to do when we're doing investigations is there'll be a knock upstairs. We get all excited. We run upstairs to investigate, and then there'll be a knock downstairs. Like she's playing hide and seek with us, where she kind of she'll bounce around and kind of keep us running around. But
I feel that I don't know if it's a jewelry box that you got in your house, but I'm not sure if it's plastic. It's a see-through. Do you have any in your house? Like a see-through jewelry box, or like a small storage, like to put maybe lipsticks or something. Nothing that you use much. I feel that there is it's like a jewelry box.
Okay, I'll have to think on that one.
Because I feel that there is something inside that she likes to play, and sometimes she's hiding it from you. So I don't know. It's something in your bedroom. I feel that it disappears sometimes.
That could be because one of the people who came out and did an investigation brought a pendulum. And that was like one of the first times I'd use a pendulum during an investigation. Eglantine absolutely loved it. I mean, the thing was flipping up in the air. So she absolutely loves when we use the pendulum during an investigation. So that lady gave us some pendulums to use, and they kind of disappear. So maybe that's what she's talking about, because one of them ended up coming home with me somehow or another. I don't know how.
But where did you put it? Was it inside like a kind of a jewelry box? Even if it's not a proper jewelry box, this is what she was showing me, something this kind. It was like,
my daughter loves little boxes, so I have little boxes everywhere. My daughter just loves those.
I'm not sure if it's where you keep the pendulum or not. Maybe is what she was showing me, that there is something that she likes to take, and then it will disappear from you or your daughter, maybe, but then she will put it back again.
Well, and that could be that pendulum, because my friend Kelly gave us 2 pendulums, one to leave at the farm and one for my daughter to take home, because my daughter was kind of enjoying it too. So, and yeah, the one at the farm didn't stay at the farm. It ended up at my house. And then Amelia lost hers. And then it's just like, it randomly shows up in the house, or it randomly disappears from the house. And like, I don't know. I keep trying to take it back out to the farm, and then it comes back to the house. And so
what color is it? Is it like a light pink or like a bit of quartz?
Yeah, it's kind of like I think it's a quartz. I don't know. I can't remember what it is, but it's kind of like a yellowy, greeny color. It's kind of like a blue-green.
Okay, because I'm trying to see where is this see-through, image that she's giving me. I'm trying to, I'm always excited, and I like to know more about the visions that they give me.
Right. I'm going to have to think more about the see-through box, because like I said, my daughter loves boxes. So I can probably pull like 5 different boxes sitting beside me right now, because that's just kind of my daughter's thing. She loves little boxes. We're always coming home with a box, and I'm just like, I'm not.
Maybe that's where you're going to find it next time.
Yeah, right, exactly. So,
all right, my darling, this was so lovely. I hope you can come back and show us the pictures, and then you can carry on telling more stories about it. If you
I have hundreds of stories, so yeah, I will definitely send you some more pictures, and I'd love to do this again. So
did you enjoy it here with us?
Yes.
Did you enjoy it? Yes. All right. I'm happy.
Yes, I enjoyed it very much. This was a lot of fun. Very much.
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to meet you. Please text me anytime you want. We'll carry on in touch, and then I'm excited for you to come back maybe next month, or because it's the 29 already, so maybe next month.
Right. Yes. No, I'd love to do this again. This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Lovely. Thank you, Rebecca. Nice to meet you. It was really a big pleasure. And so, when you got some pictures, from inside of the house, please text me, and then we can just book another show, and you can show the pictures.
Yes, I will do that for sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Lots of love, darling. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you.